I spent 2025 trying to read as many of the books that I own as possible. I think I started out the year with 113 books and I managed to get it down to 30, which is pretty good. And to reward myself, I ended up buying more books. So it's a bit counterintuitive, but YOLO. So I'm seeing it in front of me, I didn't realize how many books I actually bought, but I think I bought like 23 books. Yeah, so now my physical TBR is back up to like 50, but you know, it is what it is. So the first book I bought is My Friends by Hisham Matar. I actually really love this cover as well. This is about two friends that meet in Edinburgh. They're Libyan, and one of them convinces the other to go to this protest that's happening in the Libyan embassy. And this is based on a true story where the police ended up like shooting into the crowd or something and someone was killed. And as a result of that, one of the main character can never like go back to Libya or whatever. So I'm really interested to read this. I've heard great things about it. So next up, Free Food from Millionaires, Min Jin Lee. Why can she only write like fucking massive books? But this is her debut and I loved Pachinko, so I wanted to pick this up. This, I have no idea what this is about. Casey Han is a strong-willed, Queens-bred daughter of Korean immigrants immersed in a glamorous Manhattan lifestyle she can't afford. Okay, to be honest, I don't even care what it's about because I love her and I'm so excited that she's coming out with a new book this year. So I said I might as well read this before I read her like newest release. Okay, this is where it gets a bit crazy because I bought 7 books by the same author, and that's Percival Everett. So I love Percival Everett. It's good for me because he has like 30 books that he's written, so I want to read everything he's written, so it's like yay, but also it's bad for my bank account because I'm going to be buying so many books by him. And I'm just buying these books and I don't even know what they're about. So I bought Watershed. I Am Not Sidney Poitier. So Much Blue. Dr. No. The Trees. Wounded. And Erasure. So like I said, I don't know what any of these are about because I just really love what Percival Everett is doing. Like whatever he's talking about, like I want to listen. So this is a bit crazy that I did this, but all his books are so fast. That's how I delude myself into thinking that it's okay, because I read his book so quickly, I'm like, it doesn't even count. Next up, So Long See You Tomorrow by William Maxwell. Obsessed with this cover, and has an introduction written by my favourite author, which is Ann Patchett. So I wanted to read this for a long time. So this is about, I don't even know, friendship. I think there's a murder in a small town, and yeah, I've never read any William Maxwell, so I might as well start here. Next up, really randomly, I bought White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I read from Dostoevsky before, and I've heard really good things about White Nights, so I said I might as well pick it up. Next, I have The Crimson Petal and the White by Michel Faber, one of my favourite authors, and he wrote my favourite book that I read last year. So this is about, I do know what this is about. This is about a prostitute working in Victorian London, and it's massive. How long is this? It's like 800 pages, but you know what I'm going to say. Excited. Another one of my favourite authors, this is Pastoralia by George Saunders. This is a short story collection and I love him, and this is one of his most well known, if not his most well known works, so I'm really excited to read this. Slumberland by Beatty. I'm obsessed with these editions of his books. I've read The Sellout and I read The White Boy Shuffle, so I saw this and I said I might as well pick it up. I don't even know why I film like a book haul because I don't even know what any of these books are about. But might as well talk about them. So, after creating the perfect beat, DJ Darky goes in search of Charles Stone, aka the Schwa, a little known avant-garde jazzman, to play over his sonic masterpiece. To be honest, Paul Beatty, his brain needs to be studied because he's crazy and a lot like Percival Everett. I just really love what he's saying in his novels, so it doesn't even matter what it's about, I'm gonna read it. This next up, this is kind of a cover by, and then it turned out to be like kind of popular, so it worked out. This is Endling by Reva. One of the best covers I think I've ever seen in my life. I love snails. This is about a woman in Ukraine, and she's studying the last known individual of a species of snail, and at the same time Russia invades Ukraine like halfway through the novel, I think, and it becomes kind of very metafiction-y, what like the author maybe starts inserting herself into the narrative, so I need to pick this up soon. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I've read 2 of his novels last year, really enjoyed them, so this is his most popular book that I think, so I thought I'd pick this one up next. This is about a book club, if you can imagine, that I think they are convinced like one of the people that's after moving into their neighborhood is a vampire, so they decide to investigate that. So this cover, I think, is so pretty, like way nicer than the ugly UK edition. I bought next 3 of the Fitzcarraldo books. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're just like so simple, but I think they just look so nice like when you have them all on your shelf. So this is House of Day, House of Night by Olga Tokarczuk, one of my favorite authors again. This is like a republished version. I think it was originally published in, was it the early 2000s or like the early 1990s? I'm not too sure, but it was one of her first novels, I think, maybe even the first, and yeah. I'm not even going to say, because you know. Next up, Morning and Evening by Jan Fosse. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature a couple years ago, and I wanted to check out his work, so I said I might as well start here because this is really short. So this is, I think it's told in like 2 parts. The first part is set during the middle of the night, where the main character is like being born, and while his mother is giving birth, his father's like outside the door pacing and thinking about his life. And then in the second part of the novel, the main character is like an old man, and he's coming near the end of his life, and he is kind of alone. His wife died, his best friend's after dying, and he wakes up and he goes out to the pier, I think, to go fishing, and he ends up seeing his best friend. So you kind of realize maybe he is no longer living, and he's in the afterlife. That intrigued me a lot, and it lasts forever and then it's over. And the Marcken, this is, from what I think, this is a post-apocalyptic novel, and the main character is a zombie basically. Whether they actually refer to the main character as that's basically what she is, and she's kind of traveling around and just living a zombie life, contemplating. I think she's like looking for something. She's missing something. She's missing a person. She's missing a place, and she's like trying to find out what that is. We're almost at the end. Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad. Very, very popular novel that came out, I think, in 2023. This is about a Palestinian Dutch woman living in the Netherlands, I think, and she goes back to Haifa to like visit her family, and she ends up, I don't know how, putting on a performance of Hamlet in the West Bank, and part of this are actually told like in the form of a play, which really intrigues me. I love anything to do with like that plays with the form, so I'm really excited to read this. And then next, this also is a bit like a bit of a risky decision, but I saw this and I just was so drawn in by this cover. This is Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. This is a memoir about her relationship with her mother, which was a very fraught relationship, I think. And I think she also just talks about what her life is like living and growing up in India. So I saw this and I was like, oh, I really want to read this, but I was like, I've never read her fiction. So then I ended up buying her other 2 books because I was like, I might as well. So her debut, this is The God of Small Things. This won the Booker Prize when it came out, like her first novel to do that. And your first novel and to win the Booker Prize, like, it's kind of crazy. So I bought that, and then I bought her second. She's only written 2 novels, I think, from what I know, and she's written a lot of non-fiction. The other novel, most recent novel, is The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. So again, I don't know what they're about. They talk about life in India and all the trials and tribulations and the history of the country. So I need to get going. I need to start reading these books because that's a lot. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're interested, or if I've like gotten you interested in any of them. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.